Hi, welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of Pumped Up Tea. I'm Taylor.
I'm Sarah. You know, I don't think we introduced ourselves last week.
Maybe not.
I don't remember. I watched it yesterday. I don't think we introduced ourselves.
Last week was very unhinged.
I hope you all enjoyed last week's episode because I thoroughly enjoyed last week's episode.
I know. And this will be a very interesting one. I'm surprised that I kept my notes down to just one page, but we made it work for this episode because even though I was only getting a short amount of notes, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to this week's Vanderpump Rules episode. And housekeeping real quick because I always end up forgetting until the very end. Do it in the beginning. Yes, I'm doing it in the beginning. So real quick, if you like this video, if you like us, if you like our podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Pumped Up Tea. Follow us on Instagram. We finally just hit our first 100 followers. Thank y'all. And then follow us on TikTok and join our Patreon if you want to see some of that extra cool bonus content because that would be a lot of fun. We would love to engage with a bunch of you in other ways that don't include the social media. Yeah. Am I missing anything?
No, I think that's everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very proud now that we're finally getting a little bit better at this now that I remembered to do this at the beginning and not at the end.
We've really blossomed since episode 1 sitting on the couch.
I know.
Look at us now. We have a backdrop.
We are evolving.
And we're evolved. I'm actually really proud of us. We blossomed.
I know. Yeah. Good for us, dude.
I know. We're getting tagged and stuff now.
I know.
We're thriving.
Oh, man. So
Anne knows who we are.
And yeah, guys, Anne followed us on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So I would like to say that we're like besties adjacent to Anne, who is Tom's former assistant.
Team Anne.
Hashtag
save Anne. All right, so we want to get into this week's tea of the week.
Well, it's funny, right? I said last week how, nothing was going to happen.
She jinxed us.
I jinxed us, and now everything is happening. So let's get straight into the tea of the week.
All right. We're going to start off with the best news to come out of this week. Queen Ariana has bought a house.
Thank the Lord.
A beautiful, stunningly architectural house.
Good. Now Lala can shut the fuck up about her leaving.
It is 3 bedrooms. It is not in the valley. I think it's like valley adjacent. She's got a gorgeous view in her backyard. It's 3 bedrooms. It's a adequate price for the neighborhood. Los Angeles it's insane.
Hollywood Hills, right?
I believe so. Yes, and that a 3 bedroom there is usually $1 million in and around.
You can see the Hollywood sign too, from her backyard. It looks like.
So she bought a house that is no more expensive than any. I approve of this purchase, whereas the others I was kind of iffy on. This one I agree with, and I think that it is smart that she took her time, saved up her money to go from one house to another. I don't care what Lala says. I would not go from a house that I bought to a fucking apartment after I was cheated on. My ass is staying in that house until I can afford another house.
So obviously, right, it takes about a month or so to do the final closing from the time you decide to buy a house, which means that she might be telling this news too for the first time, at the reunion.
Oh, I love that.
If she didn't,
shut Lala right up.
If she didn't, then I really hope that everybody else finds out for the first time, except for Katie, on Instagram or by fans or something.
Well, here's the thing. This is something that Katie can find out about without breaking an NDA. Mm-hmm. Because all their britches in a bunch because none of them found out any of the fun things that she was doing for the first time first.
Meanwhile, these guys haven't booked anything so serious that required them signing an NDA.
Well, this is also, too, I mentioned this. We're getting a little off topic, but I mentioned this when we were watching the episode. The reason they have such a hard time with boundaries is because none of them have boundaries. I think I've mentioned this a million times already, but it's why they get mad when they're not known things right away because they don't understand the concept of boundaries. Sometimes I cannot tell you something until it is completed. Anyway, she bought a house. We're very happy for her. And I'll go to the other Ariana news.
Congrats, Ariana Madix.
The other Ariana news was she did an interview recently for Post Chicago. Her run ends, I believe, next week, the week after.
April 7th.
It's her last show. She did an interview. She's going back to LA. She mentioned something about their new date is May. Katie has also said it's May. And there's still no news on season 12. So that is our actual Ariana news. Mm-hmm. Some other things are Ariana adjacent. Second piece, we'll bounce off of that. I wish you guys could see this. Something about her drama that we have going around. The May date is their opening, set by both Katie and Ariana.
Tentatively.
Chef Penny, who we saw tonight, apparently has trademarked something about her, which could explain why it is taking them so long to do things. If they've had then there's been a rumor circulating that they've had a falling out with Chef Penny. So this could be...
Oh, I didn't realize it was that serious.
This could be what led to it if she trademarked something about her behind their backs.
That would be pretty fucked up.
Yes. So that is going around. And then the other rumor is that there is going to be a ghost kitchen of... I don't even know what that means, but there's going to be a ghost kitchen of something about her on Uber Eats. But that is just a rumor that's been floating around. So take that with a grain of salt. But that's something about her news. Shall we start with Rachel Leviss or Jeremy Madix next?
Let's get the Rachel shit out of the way, because who really cares? I mean, Rachel basically came out and she felt like naming some names on her podcast about all the various people that knew about the affair between her and Sandoval, most of which people decided that her telling of these events were not at all the case. And we had a really pretty strong theory as to why. Specifically Logan and Max Boyens.
Yes, so Logan, right after she dropped that, Logan very quickly put out his statement that he didn't know, that when he heard telling of the events is not his remembering of the events, and that what he saw between them was nothing out of the ordinary, which coincides with Sheena saying, well, I would let her in the bed with me and Brock and cuddle, the very incestuous way that this group has been for years. So that is not something out of the ordinary. And I said, I have this written down, that the reason that she thinks that everyone was just knew about it, read my very bad handwriting, thinks everyone knew because she knew what she was doing.
Well, yeah, she had a guilty conscience.
Well, that's the thing. So it's like when you think you're being so brazen, you're like, well, how do they not know? Look what I'm doing. How do they not know? But they didn't know because they don't have the suspicion. They're not suspicious of you because they don't know you're doing something suspicious. You know you're doing something suspicious. So you already have a guilty conscience. So you're hyper aware of what people are looking at you.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
You know what I mean? When you're doing something sus, you're looking and seeing if anyone is looking at you.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
So that came out. She also mentioned season 8 Max, who was also mentioned on tonight's episode. He also put out a statement. It was less of denial and more of, and I have quotes from this. I'm not going to read Logan's statement because it was very, very long. The gist of it was that Rachel's lying. He didn't know, and he found out when Ariana found out, which was when we all found out. Max said, and I'm paraphrasing a little, this girl just can't shut up and take accountability. Also, we're still talking about this. What the fuck? And then at the underneath the photo of what she said, he said, curious what her platform will be about once she's beat this into the fucking ground. When I agree with that,
go rogue somewhere else, Rachel.
Go rogue somewhere else. Also, doesn't this hinder her lawsuit?
I'm surprised. Yeah, actually, good point. I'm surprised that she's able to talk so much. Meanwhile, this lawsuit is like just in limbo somewhere.
I have a couple other little notes here on Rachel because she, again, this week was talking about, so we had her naming names right after last week's episode, and then this week she was also still talking about it.
Lawyergate.
Yes. So it's back-to-back now, 2 episodes of her Rachel Goes Rogue that she's talking about Sandoval. And I was perusing the subreddits, as I do, and some people brought up some very good points that I think really show her narrative. It's, why does she hate Ariana so much, right? This is the question, because you look at what she's saying, and she hates Ari. The vitriol she has for the victim of her crime is insane. So this was the takeaway that we've gotten here. The 3 points. She blames Ariana for the consequences of the affair. So it is Ariana's fault that all of this is happening because she called producers. Baby girl, none of this would be happening if you didn't fuck a taken man for 7 months. Anyway, she's jealous of Ariana. She's jealous of, and I mean that in a very broad, she's jealous of everything about Ariana, right? Her friendship, her relationship, her house, the things that she's gotten after the scandal has dropped, right? Just like blatant single white female jealousy, right? And then the third one is internalized misogyny and her need to compete. It goes hand in hand with that very stereotypical pageant girl persona.
3 months in the Meadows was just not long enough.
Okay, I saw, she was also talking about recently about, this week's episode was of her podcast was talking about accountability. Shout out to, I only know the Reddit name.
Oh, that's Vanderpod. Vanderpod recaps.
I only know them as Additional War on Reddit because I'm not the Instagrammer of this duo. I am the Redditor of this duo. But they put out what she had said this week, and she was talking about how she was taking accountability, and her therapist was like, oh, you take accountability when blah, blah, blah. Like this very questionable advice from a therapist. And I think she should get her money back from the Meadows because I don't think it did anything. It sounds like those therapists that just agree with everything you're saying to get money from you.
Probably.
You know what I mean? It's those therapists that are not actually
rich people should.
Well-intended. Yes. It's like, yes, you're so right, Rachel. This was something, you were manipulated into this. You made poor decisions. And the only way to take accountability is to let go of your guilt. No, bitch. Taking accountability is, I fucked up.
Acknowledgement and then
change behavior. It is not continuously, week after week, talking shit about the person you betrayed. Talking week after week about how you are the real victim and suing the woman whose life you ruined. That is not taking accountability. That is running away from the thing that you did.
Yeah.
So, I am still team no Rachel. But that's the Rachel news. Think of that what you will. And then we'll go off of that because the Jeremy thing is kind of adjacent to that because it goes hand in hand with Sandoval.
Well, no, but we should still talk about it. Basically, yes. Jeremy was at Jack's Studio City for the Valley party, right? And then he hugged Sandoval, but then I guess after we recorded, it then came out that basically, long story short, Ariana hasn't spoken to Jeremy in months.
Ariana hasn't spoken to him. He then threatens her, essentially blackmails her in this interview of, if she doesn't speak to me soon, then I'll throw out some information. So he is bouncing off this narrative of Ariana is the villain, and we're all going to have the wool whipped from our eyes and see the truth in season 12. And I can see why she hasn't spoken to her brother because that's some fucked up shit. Very sad. Right, next news.
I just don't get, though, like, how one person being so busy is so impactful to everybody else around her. Like, just be happy for her. Let her be busy and move on.
They don't have the capability of being happy for anyone but themselves.
So fucking weird, dude.
It is insanely weird because I don't get it either. I don't understand it. I would see my best friend thriving after something so terrible and going, yes, queen, go off. Anne's friend Jess has spoken. Jess was at the Sexy Singles pool party on last week. She was the bartender. Anne has said her friend Jess was hired to bartend the pool party by Sandy, and Sandy never paid Jess.
Kind of fucked up. You should be paying for your vendors, always. Tom, as a bartender, should fucking know that.
Okay, next piece of news. Episode 10 will be extended and uncensored on Peacock the following day it premieres. Now, this is an interesting piece of news because episode 10 is not the finale. Episode 14 is the finale. So what the fuck is going down on episode 10 that it gets to have an extended and uncensored episode version on Peacock?
I don't know, but they're not really holding back this season. We've gotten a few extended episodes.
Well, extended like this, but
Like, I'm talking about, like, at least an extra 15 minutes.
Yes, tonight was also an extra 15 minutes. But they haven't mentioned that for these episodes. It wasn't put out in the universe.
They didn't say how long the extension was for the next episode, is it?
No. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think they mentioned that this week or that other week, a couple weeks back, was extended. They didn't put that out there anywhere that I saw. This one was very clearly stated that it's extended and uncensored. Like, these extended episodes, like tonight, have not been uncensored on Peacock.
No.
So for some reason, this episode gets extended and uncensored. So, like, what the fuck is happening on episode 10?
I don't know, but basically what that means for us is that we are probably going to wait until we do the extended version.
Yes.
We'll probably still watch the regular, VPR night version.
Yes.
We'll do our recap based off of the extended episode.
Yes. So we'll watch it live with the rest of you, and then we'll watch the extended version the next day, and then we'll come and film after that. So we have the full tea. Mm-hmm. And then the last piece of news, which you had mentioned on our social media this week, it's not news, this is speculation. This week's tea of the week is more like tea mixed with like actual news. Lala, a producer plant.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe it. I believe it a little bit because of tonight. And also, I have this quote with her Katie beef because I thought it was really fucked up. A lot of the shit she's been saying this week, like, as a whole, the Jeff Lewis thing, the Amazon thing, the other interviews that she's done, like, a lot of the shit she said this week has been, like...
Very back and forth.
She said, the Katie quote really pissed me off, was, "I'm sure if I go back to being miserable, we'll get real thick again."
It actually even, it came out today, too, on Nick Vile's podcast that... Katie and Dana were actually on the podcast. And
yes, I saw clips.
Nick was asking Katie about, what is Lala saying? And even still to this day, Katie is doubling down. I have no idea what falling out she's talking about.
Which is
why are you bringing my mom into it?
No, seriously. She mentioned her in the quote I just said. The quote is from her Instagram story, by the way. She did like a Q&A on her Instagram this week, and...
Yeah, she brought up Katie's mom.
She brought up Katie's mom directly after. In the same slide that quote was from, she brought up her mom. And she goes, "I love her mom, though."
You don't bring up the moms.
No. So she said, if she thinks I'm miserable, then I'm sure we'll be quick. I love her mom, though. And that's what makes me think she's a producer planner. She's doing exactly what the producers want her to do, because Katie is like, I have no fucking clue what this beef is. Right?
Katie's saying, I have no clue what the beef is.
And if you...
Lala's being praised by Andy Cohen, saying that this is her best season. She's been the voice of reason.
Exactly.
And now, I've had this conversation with a few followers on Instagram. I don't know if I've said it to you.
Probably.
But my thing is that this kind of supports something that Rachel said in her podcast about how production likes to reward certain behaviors.
Oh,
and
yes.
if you go this certain way, if you try to steer the conversation in this direction, we'll do whatever. Lala's getting all this praise now because this is supposedly her best season. She's apparently the standout of the entire season somehow for whatever reason.
No, she's not.
But that's what's being said by the Team Bravo. So
it goes hand in hand with the performative anger that I mentioned to you earlier today of her at the reunion last year.
Nick Vile said the same thing.
I think they told her to be that aggressive at the reunion because this is in this episode. Okay, I feel like I have to keep reminding everybody. This episode is 5 months post reunion, so you just
So I think the reunion was probably her genuine feelings. I think this Lala that we're seeing is producer plan.
Okay,
Lala.
then that's fucked.
Yeah.
That's real fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is 5 singular months, right? 5 months post-reunion and 2 weeks post you calling this man dangerous. Mm-hmm. You've called him dangerous at the reunion. You called him dangerous at... In Tahoe. And now you're sitting on a fucking couch with him in his backyard. Singing Kumbaya. What the fuck is it, Lala? What is it, Lala? What is it? You can't have it both ways. And that is why I think she's a producer plant, because she's doing exactly what they want them to. Then that's the tea. Lala is a producer plant, and if she wants to tell me otherwise, say it to my fucking face, girl. Come on. Tell me you're not. Tell me you're not. You can't, because it's true.
Oh, man. Is that all the tea?
That was all the tea. I sped through that like nobody's business.
That was like a whole speed round. My goodness.
Well, there was a lot, and I have a lot of thoughts about the episode, so I wanted to speed through the news. The real news was Ariana bought a house, and everything else was kind of just like drama, but I felt like it needed to be said because shit went down this week. But anyway, that's the tea. On to the episode. Taylor, your turn.
Oh, boy. All right, well, first half of the episode, not all that eventful. We have James and Allie doing a quick debrief of her lunch with Joe. I'll be honest, I don't really remember too much left of that scene. Other than that, Graham is a very good boy.
The only thing I got out of that scene was how adorable it was that he was picking her outfit. And she has a Marcel iron.
Stylish shit. And then we quickly go to Sandoval and Billy Lee. They're talking about, I guess, trying to buy Ariana out of the house. Supposedly, Tom says his lawyer said some shit. I don't really fucking care. Sandoval is probably lying.
He is lying. Nick said it on his podcast that he's like, dude, I've seen the offer. It was shit.
Send her a top market value offer. I don't know.
From what we've heard, that didn't really seem like a top market value offer for a $2 million home.
Nope.
If you're gonna split it 50-50, wouldn't her buying her out be $1 million if it's a $2 million value home?
Well, don't forget, it was 2.1 when they bought the house, but it's been 5 years. That house value has gone right up. So that's probably got to be at this point maybe at least a $2.5 million house.
So then give her 1.5, you asshole.
But meanwhile, in the next room, Ariana's getting ready for
Icon.
Hotel Ziggy that James is throwing a show that night. Her phone, she goes on FaceTime. It's Anne.
Getting ready for the Taylor Swift concert.
Which I love. Ariana basically says that she's getting close to burnout. She's looking to hire a new assistant. And then that's when Anne decides to throw her hat in the jar. Like, hey, I would love to be considered in the running. To which Ariana says, would love that, but no.
And that's a smart move. That was really smart of her. Because Anne very clearly is a wonderful assistant. She's very good at her job. But that was very smart of Ariana because Scumbag is going to take that as a slight. He's going to take that. You taking his assistant as the biggest slight to him in the world. And that is not drama you want to put herself more in. She's like, love you, you're great, but like, I'm going to pick somebody else.
Well, on top of that, too, it's a nice way to kind of preserve your friendship on top of that.
Yeah.
But oh, man. So that was a fun thing to watch. Hashtag save Anne.
I love that she was getting ready for the Eras tour.
Yeah.
She was wearing purple. Ariana said lavender haze, but I said Speak Now. Speak Now is the purple album. And if you're watching or listening, will you tell me what you dressed as? A song, an album, an era? Let me know. I have questions. From one Swiftie to another.
Schwartz and Lala go to lunch. Really, the whole main focus of this scene was really just so Schwartz can tell Lala that 12 years ago he made out.
Oh, this is not the Sandoval lunch. I forgot they had lunch twice together in this episode.
No, ma'am. But yeah, he made out with Sheena 12 years ago in Vegas. And I wrote here, I don't get why Lala is mad. Because Lala, for whatever reason, is like, I don't like when bitches be lying in my face. Meanwhile, she realized that she wasn't even around for that point in time at all. Was not even a thought to work at SUR yet. She was probably still hanging out in Salt Lake City, Utah.
It was the only thing I wrote down this whole episode because it coincides with my thought about everyone in this group is their entitlement to information that they are not entitled to. Just because someone, and I'm saying this in quotations for anyone who's not watching this on YouTube, you can't see my air quotes. Best friend, right? You are not entitled to every single piece of information.
Yeah, that was really a weird moment.
The enmeshment that they have with each other is like, this is not your sibling. Like, this is someone you work with. Because you keep telling me time and time again, this is your fucking job.
Just trying to feed some babies. Trying to bake a cake.
Feed your baby, girl. Oh, that's right. She said that this week. I'm just trying to bake a cake, which was actually really adorable.
Whatever.
Okay. I'm trying, but I'm really mad at her.
Next scene, Katie and Lala are hanging out. That's when Lala then tells Katie about Schwartz hooking up with Sheena or making out with Sheena.
Producer.
Yeah, producer doing the producer things.
Because what was the reason for bringing this up?
Hey, maybe she's trying to get some editing credit like Sandoval.
No, so I'm just really confused why this was even a plot point tonight.
Because what else was there? I just breezed through a third of the show.
No, I know, but they're really fishing for shit. They're really fishing for shit because they're so stuck on this narrative of free Sandoval 2024 that like they're pulling anything they can, right, to make Ariana and Katie the bad guys. You didn't tell me this. Let's pull all this other drama to get the focus off the person we should actually be mad at.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It was really weird. I kept thinking that the whole time, even this scene with Lala and Katie. I was like, why the fuck are we even talking about something that happened 14 years ago?
Yeah, that's true.
This should have been, if we're talking about this, why didn't we bring this up last season when it was actually talking about her divorce and they were actively divorcing, right?
I don't know, but we'll get there too. I mean, I feel like at this point, they're just fishing for things. It could just be the fact that Schwartz just loves to just say shit when he's under pressure because then he doesn't want to talk about Joe.
He really does. That is not a man you tell secrets to because he's going to spill it as soon as there's any slightest bit of pressure on him.
But now the meat and potatoes of the episode is really just going to Hotel Ziggy. James is doing
Is this the same from last season? The same place from last season? Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, because Allie said that this is where she met Rachel for the first time.
Okay,
they had that awkward little like hang.
Oh, yes. And this is also where that fight that has been talked about behind the fourth wall happened.
Yeah, but that video, it wasn't even a behind the fourth wall video. This was just someone trying to have like a gotcha moment that James is angry and James has gotten into an altercation. But the video was very anticlimactic.
It really was. He was just yelling in the street. Nobody was hit. Nobody was harmed.
Yeah, I don't really know. And plus, we don't know what happened to
you know the context to make him angry. You're right.
Right. So we're in Hotel Ziggy. You know, the first thing I really noticed about this scene was that Tom had mentioned that Ariana was looking really good, which obviously she was. That's the glow that she got from dumping you.
She's glowing.
I didn't like the scene of Sheena bullying Joe. This scene actually made me feel bad about the rant that we went on about Joe last week. So, Joe, if you by any chance happen to see this, sorry, girl.
I mean,
I feel a little
bad.
Sheena
made some of the same points that I did.
But she was way more
aggressive
rude
about it. And I didn't like them bitching on her for wearing a hat because
especially if you're gonna shit talk her for the whole rest of the night anyway.
It's just the hat thing was weird to me because we wear baseball caps and all the kinds of hats all the time. You can be a hairstylist and wear a hat with good hair.
You could literally be anybody and wear a hat. Wouldn't she wear she was wearing her boy crazy hat all the time.
Well, that that felt really weird. Like she had I agreed with her, you know, like you're marketing yourself, but she looked wonderful tonight. Like she looked way better than the swan thing, which goes in turn of when she needs to dress it up, she dresses it up. Her hair looked fantastic. You can very clearly see her disassociating and being overstimulated, and she ended up having an anxiety attack, girly same. The one thing I will say, though, is that I think Joe, for her own mental health, needs to accept that Katie and Ariana are never going to be her friend. One, because she helped facilitate the affair. And two, the ex-wife. You're not entitled to the friendship of the ex-wife when you start sleeping with that man like 2 weeks after you separate. And I think that if she accepts those things, she'll be it'll be easier to be around the group. You know what I mean? Like, you can block them out, baby girl. Just tune them out. But the only way to do that is to let go of this fantasy that you're going to be BFFs with them. Because you're not. Because you hurt them. And they're entitled to that hurt. Just as you are entitled to be hurt tonight by the things that they were saying. Both things can be true.
Yes.
That's what I have to say about that.
I couldn't help but notice too, we had like the group A of Hotel Ziggy and then group B. Group A was like your usual suspects. So Ariana, Katie, Lala, Sheena, sure, whatever other extras they had with them that night. And then there was group B, which was Sandoval, Schwartz, Joe, Billy Lee, T.
What a terrible group.
Yeah, right?
You got the A team and the B team.
Literally, A team,
B team
B team.
sucked.
And I noticed when looking at the outfits, looking at the photos that were being taken, I couldn't help but notice that, you know, rewind to last year, this was around the point in time when the blinds really were all starting to come out, that there was like a weird rift starting to form between Ariana and the rest of the girls. The jealousy was starting to show. And it's crazy because I remember seeing those pictures and being like, everybody looks fine to me.
You and I were like, what the fuck are they talking about? They look great. What do you mean they're jealous? They just eviscerated that man at the reunion.
Well, not even just that, but like they're all just pictured hanging out together. What could possibly be going wrong?
We didn't know behind the scenes, obviously. Those blinds ended up being true because it's very clear that there's a rift happening in the friendship. But that was really funny.
It was
because she went and pulled up the photos that were posted and stuff, and we were talking about it during a commercial. We were like, so weird.
Thank you, Bravo and Blaze. You came in clutch for that because those are where she's been posting basically everything that was going on at those point in time in last year. She's reposting them so we can see it in real time versus like what happened. It's awesome. A slay. She's great.
Love her.
So we then have our first Tom and Ariana interaction of the whole season. Wild. And he feels the need to confront her about some house bullshit. Like,
my lawyer has it. Go off, queen.
Like, literally, leave me alone.
I said this to you on the couch. I say a lot of things to you on the couch and that I repeat here. I adored that she said her piece, my lawyer has it, and then turned her head and showed that beautiful bone structure. And then Katie immediately picked up and I got you, girl, and handled that in true best friend fashion.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It felt so cringe watching him walk up to her. I was like, hey, you're Ariana. Shut the fuck up. Go away.
Like, if you know she doesn't want to talk to you, you're not entitled to a conversation with her.
Like, later, cousin it.
Check the vibe, Sandy. She's very clearly uncomfortable around you. She's upset. She's still angry. She's still healing. Right?
Yeah.
You should have walked away the minute she says, my lawyer has it. Mm-hmm. That was your answer. And you say, okay, as long as it's been made aware, and you walk away. But that also requires self-awareness. And that is something that man does not have. So
he also could have had Anne ask Ariana at any point in time.
No.
At any point in time.
He's not going to do that because I'm going to be honest, I think a part of him enjoyed making her uncomfortable. Yeah.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like, like I get under her skin.
Like I still bother her. Also, in more attempts to make this Sandoval redemption arc happening,
Boo.
We're trying to make tea happen. Just stop trying to make tea happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not. I felt so bad for her. It was just so...
I don't feel that bad for her because...
It was Aki.
She was... Listen, we all know she was just really trying to push her music career because she had a song come out around that point in time.
Oh, did she?
When she was going out on her dates with Sandoval. Yeah, it's weird that I even remember that. But yes, she had music coming out around this point in time. So she was just hoping that Sandoval would be like her in, you know? And now look, we're here a year later just watching her on this episode and still don't care about her music. So, you know.
No, you keep latching on to like the wrong people.
You picked the wrong side, girl.
It's so weird to me. Like it was so obvious at that point too of filming who was getting the better exit of this like breakup. Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna latch on to somebody, latch on to the girl that just had a batteries commercial. She's got Dancing with the Stars. She Dancing with the Stars, girl.
Broadway.
Well, she didn't have Broadway yet.
Oh yeah, true.
But the person you latch onto to launch your music is the Dancing with the Stars girl. Cause like, what if they played your song on Dancing with the Stars?
That would not have happened.
You don't know. Well, no, but you don't know that they sometimes they don't use licensed music, or you know what I mean?
No, they don't use licensed music, but I feel like that music usually doesn't have lyrics.
That's true, but I'm just saying like that's who I would latch onto because then she could like share you like check out this hip song that I've been using during my workouts for dancing with this. I don't know. There's like that's not the person you latch onto is not fucking Tom Sandoval.
Yeah. And then the last thing to happen at Hotel Ziggy, we really didn't even see much of James's show.
No,
I noticed.
I didn't see more James DJing.
Very weird. That was just something that I realized as I was going through.
We didn't hear any of his music. We didn't see him DJing. We didn't get.
Oh my God, we almost forgot again. We didn't talk about this last week, but Allie's coming out with music. Allie.
Yes.
Which made me think about something last night.
Okay.
As I was remembering this.
Okay.
Allie's starting to obviously go into a music career. She's got a music video coming out called Girls,
Girls.
which oddly Sheena's in the music video.
You know what? I swear to God, we mentioned this last week because I said it was weird that you had the least Girls Girl in your music video.
I don't remember us talking about it,
I
but
think we did. Either way.
I'm
having deja vu. I swear we talked about it.
My theory here is could these producers, the powers that be at Vanderpump Rules land, could they be trying to curate a season 12 plot line?
100%. They need something. Because after that reunion, whew. But I also wouldn't be surprised if James is helping her with her music as he did with Sheena.
Of course he is. No, he didn't with Sheena. He did with Lala.
Lala, thank you. No, he wrote a song with Sheena.
Oh, well.
It was during the Shay era and her wedding season. It was when she was getting married to Shay. This was years ago. This was like James's first season on the show.
Yeah.
But
did better than
but
that.
He has helped other some of the Lala and Sheena with their music. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing it with Allie, and maybe it wasn't necessarily because she mentioned last week as well that she wanted to be the next Taylor Swift, but there can only be one Taylor Swift. I don't know. I think it's a mix of both. Like she's ready to put her music out there, and then the producers are like, "Hey, we need something because our show is floundering.
We need you to produce.
We need you to produce.
Like we need you to come up with some shit now." Anyways, so then Katie confronts Sheena about what Lala had told her about making out, kissing Schwartz all those years ago. So apparently, this was probably one of the best kept secrets aside from Sandoval.
So strange.
And 12 years ago, they were out in Vegas.
She said it was right after she got engaged to Shay.
Yep, right after she got engaged to Shay. They were on the outs and stuff. And Schwartz one day just pulled her aside and just tried to kiss her. And she was like, crazy. I just wanted to forget that this ever happened. And very, very weird, very odd. But she also said, I didn't make out with Schwartz. I made out with Ariana that night.
Okay. You still cheated on your fiance.
Well, they weren't not if, like, okay, so there's gray area there, right?
Is there?
Yes.
Kissing someone that's not your fiance is.
Because if somebody just grabs your face and
No, I was talking about Ariana. I was talking about Ariana. Making out with Ariana. Unless you have explicit consent from your fiance.
Guys don't give a shit. There's that double standard, you know? Guys don't care.
That's gross. Kissing someone.
Maybe not to Shay.
Okay, well, either way, I still think it's grody, but that's my opinion. But I don't know. And then it got me thinking, why did she even do that? Why does she even entertain? Because if someone's going to kiss you, you have a second. There's a good 5 seconds between lips touching that you could push that man away.
Sometimes it happens fast. It can catch you off guard. It can be very jarring. Knowing Schwartz too, I can see it.
I don't know. A part of me is like, I could see her entertaining it out of spite because at the time, this is pre-season 3, so her and Katie are still on the outs.
But she wouldn't have done that to Shay. I don't think so. I don't know. There's a lot of things Sheena's a lot of things, but being a male sympathizer, she's so desperate to earn one man's love. I think that.
Okay. I don't know. Part of me could see her doing it out of revenge for Katie. Like, your boyfriend.
If she were single, maybe.
Kissed me.
I guess. If she were single, maybe.
I could also see this happening, and not necessarily wanting it to happen, but then being like, oh, I have this piece of dirt on her now.
Yeah, but she would have let it rip by this point.
You know what? Yeah, that's true. After all the shit that Katie put her through during in between seasons 2 and 3, Katie's wedding season. I mean, there's been various seasons now that if she really, you're right. Okay, I take back what I said. Because if she was going to use it for revenge, she would have by now. But I agree with Katie that Lala and Sheena, Lala and Sheena are the same person. I keep mixing their names in my head.
Like seeks like.
Yes. But I agree with Katie in that scene. She was saying, why didn't you tell me last year? Why didn't you tell me when we were friends again? Like, this is information that I should have been privy to. Mm-hmm. Like, especially knowing that was one of their biggest issues, was him consistently cheating on her, right? I'm going to go to my friend and say, yo, I'm really glad you're divorcing him, you're separating, because I have this thing that I want to tell you. Or, I don't know, right? But I agreed with Katie. Katie was like, you should have told me. And Sheena's like, well, it wasn't a big deal. It really was, though.
Yeah, pretty much. It was not a big deal, and we made it a big deal now because it's like, oh my god, new information. But yeah, no. And that's the Sheena and Schwartz saga.
The way that they played that up in the first trailer to drop for this season as like the big plot point.
But I love how Sheena was even like leading up to the season. She's like, it's not what you guys think.
When she was right, it wasn't what we thought.
Correct. Yes, it wasn't what we thought. Even Brock didn't make a very big deal out of it.
I mean, Brock doesn't really seem to make a big deal about a lot of things. To be honest.
Well,
except when it's like he makes a big deal out of
the wrong things.
The wrong things. Yeah.
Yeah. So next scene, we're done with Hotel Ziggy. We have now the Schwartz, Lala, James Sandoval lunch and...
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Vile. I am done with Lala. I have never been more done with Lala. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
Get out of here. No, I'm done. That's it. It's over. I got blackout mad after that, and the whole rest of the episode I was seething. But continue because I'm just gonna keep yelling.
Get it all out now because I would love to have my 2 cents.
No, go for it. I think I've said my piece at this point. I just keep regurgitating the same shit that I'm mad about. So go. It's your turn.
I mean, listen. Well, my first note before we go into like Lala being bullshit Lala, I got mad because, listen, I'm a dog mom, so I'm obsessed with my dog. And because I am a dog mom, I am extra empathetic towards Ariana because this man just loves being careless with Miss Maya. Saying, first of all, you're finding any excuse to have to go into Ariana's room. How fucking dare you? You're disgusting. Mm-hmm. I want to know what you were really doing in that room. Mm-hmm. You let Maya into the room. We'll find out later that, in this scene, she just got into some stuff. She eats things and then goes into a whole story about how one time she had like 500 laxatives or whatever and just shit all over the place, whatever. So now we'll go back into that more later when Ariana tells us the real story. But I wrote, no wonder why Lala and Ariana are fighting, because Lala had a moment where she said, oh, well, Ariana was being so icy to you last night, and oh my god, I was starting to actually feel bad for Sandoval. Like, what the fuck do you mean? What do you mean? If it were Randall, though, you would not be having it. You would not be having it. Especially if it was so fresh after what happened with the two of you. I know that Lala took longer than 5 months, 6 months, whatever, to get over what was going on with Randall.
But her situation is different. She has a baby.
Oh, yeah, Lala's situation's always got to be worse.
Yeah, it's the same with the house comment.
She was so scared that she had to pay cash just so she can go somewhere and not leave a paper trail because she was so scared of him.
You can't pay cash for an Airbnb.
Well, thank goodness that you actually come from enough money to where you can do that. She didn't specifically say Airbnb, but...
Yes, she did.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was on Jeff Lewis. She said this week that she paid cash for an Airbnb.
Oh, all I heard was she paid cash to go somewhere. But
she didn't say it on the episode, but she mentioned it this week that it was an Airbnb because we were talking about it on Reddit. We were like, how the fuck do you pay for cash for an Airbnb? There's a hole in your story there, girl.
There's always a hole in Lala's stories.
You said everything that I was thinking. You can't get mad at Ariana for staying in the house when you had to leave. You had no legality to that house with Randall. None of it. And you can't say to her, well, how do you feel? You don't feel safe with Tom, but you're living down the hall from him. Mm-hmm. And I said this to you earlier. I think in Lala's mind, safety to her is physical safety, right? She doesn't comprehend, which is wild to me because she keeps going on this. She goes on tangents all the time about being emotionally safe with people. right?
Well, perception is everything, right? So I think she's perceiving Ariana's version of safety as the same version of safety that she's imagining.
But it's not.
But they're obviously on two very separate planes, and she's not getting that.
She's not, and it's gross. That whole scene was really gross.
Yeah, so then Tom is basically pretending that he's been really good at doing breath work exercises and all this shit. And so he invites Lala to do it with him.
She almost had me. She almost had me at the end of that scene. I thought maybe there's a trickle of hope still. And then she fucking showed up.
Yeah, and then she showed up. She really showed, like, at least an inkling of somewhat growth. And she was like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. And then she does it anyway, in true Lala fashion, because some producer was probably in her ear like, hey, you should go. So then they go, they sit, they have a little kiki in the backyard. They have a weird talk about trying to rebuild a friendship when it's like, why? You've had at least, what season did Lala come in? Like season 4?
4.
So we're in season 11 now? What math is that, real quick? 9 seasons? No.
Neither of us can do math. In our defense, guys, it is 10:19 at night. Okay, she worked all day.
11 minus 4.
I'm gonna 11 minus 4. 7. We're fine. We're adults.
Oh my god. Please edit that out.
No, don't edit that out. Leave that in. 7. So she's been on for 7 seasons.
So she's been on for 7 seasons. Maybe take away half of a season because she didn't show up for like a bunch of season 5. So
was it season 5? She left like halfway through.
5 or 6, one of those seasons.
6. It was the wedding season. It was season 6. She left halfway through.
Yes. Okay, so she was gone for like half a season. So yeah, we'll give her.
Because she met Randall. She started dating Randall season 5.
Okay, so 6.5 seasons. We'll give you 6.5 seasons. Not once did you feel like it was necessary to have a real friendship with Sandoval. And now, post-affair with one of your besties, that's when you want to start reconnecting and building this friendship and practice all this forgiveness. Weird.
Can I call BS on that? That there's no real friendship? Because Tom and Ariana were her only friends on that show.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
And then she didn't show up to Ariana's birthday.
So for her to sit here and say that her and Tom never had a real friendship, I'm sorry, did you not invite him to have a threesome in the back of his brand new car? Is that not friendship? Did you not, did they not have your back when the entire cast was against you? Did you not, BS that you guys didn't have a friendship. Maybe it wasn't as close as the one she has with Ariana, but let's not act like you weren't friends ever. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I feel like ever since the Randall relationship broke up, that's when things started getting murky because they're like, oh, Lala. He's like, because his biggest beef with Lala was supposedly, that she wasn't showing anything of her life. Still doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I get where he's coming from, though, that we didn't see a lot of her life, but it's also because she too was living in an affair and then couldn't talk about her child after the whole thing blew up. So,
but also you can't force another person to be a part of something they don't want to. Stassi and Patrick. Patrick didn't want to be on the show, so she had to keep that part of her life from the show, but she still was honest about everything else, and the same with Lala. She couldn't keep... Randall didn't, at the time, right, before season, 9, when he was on the show, 8 or 9, whatever it was, right, he didn't want to be on the show. You cannot force someone to be on something they don't want to be on.
I almost thought you were going a different way with that at first. Okay.
No. So I think that argument with him is bullshit. And he used it with Stassi at one point too, I think, when she was like, I can't force Patrick to be on the show. I tried. He didn't want to be on the show. It's the same with Lala. You can't force someone to be on it that you don't want to, but you can show every other aspect that you can. Mm-hmm. And that's what she did. That's what Stassi did. So that argument with him is stupid. I mean, all of his arguments are stupid, but that one I disagree with.
Okay, so now we're again another very quick scene. Not really much went on with it. I think it's because Bravo's finally starting to listen that we're sick and tired of seeing the bullshit.
I blacked out that entire. Once they were in the backyard, I was like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
So now we're at the Something About Her sandwich tasting at Something About Her, which by the way is still not open, but kind of off put by all the roasting that Ariana and Katie got being compared to Schwartz and Sandy's.
Don't fucking go. If you are not going to be supportive, why the fuck were you there?
Like, I guess probably benefit of the doubt, devil's advocate, maybe they thought that they were going to have, like, different sandwiches.
Okay.
But I'm just saying. It could be a reason.
Sure. But that doesn't negate the shit that they were talking in their confessionals. That was gross.
Well, Lala's going to shit talk. Yeah.
I know. I just thought it was really disgusting. Oh, didn't we do this already? Oh, this feels like this. And then she's so smug in that confessional. And then the editors put in that, like...
I thought that was cool.
That was fun. But, like, it was gross. It felt really gross. I really was like...
James's joke, though, on Sloppy Joe was pretty funny. I will give him that.
Sloppy Joe joke was funny. And then when you say... Dick and Little Dick's bar or something to that effect.
Oh, he's been saying that since the reunion.
I know,
Tweedledee and Tweedle Dick.
A Tweedledee and Tweedle Little Dick's bar. And I don't know why. I don't think I ever heard him say. I think I didn't register that joke until tonight. But that and Sloppy Joe was really funny. But the rest of that scene really hurt my heart because it's so clear that Katie and Ariana are very proud of their place, and it looks beautiful inside, and they're really trying their hardest. And then you just got, like, people that you think are your friends that are in here, like, making fun of something you're proud of.
Yeah, so, we then go to Sir afterwards. Like, they end up literally just like last season. They have the something about her party at something about her post-furnishing. Then they take their tasting over to Sir, just like they actually did last season. And I remember that because now it's coming back to me. Around that point last season, when the affair was going on, they did that. And Joe, Schwartz, Tom, and Rachel did a double date at one of Kyle Chan's events around that point in time. And, like, there was a photo that came out after the affair broke that showed that they were all together. And because of the outfits that they were wearing, that's how you knew that that was the night of the sandwich tasting.
Is that not the same night that she asked Ariana if her and Tom were...
Yes, because it is also the same...
she yelled at Terry.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I
feel
like
all
I'm
the same.
Throw up.
All the same.
That is disgusting.
Did your brain just like... like...
I feel like I want to throw up. That is vile.
Yep.
That is vile.
Very crazy.
Ariana was sobbing at the end of that scene. That was the finale, but that was supposed to be the finale.
It was the finale. You're right.
She's crying in that scene. Right? Her grandmother just died. She's crying.
Well, I think she was crying because everybody was fighting.
But she was but she was highly emotional because of what she was going through at the time.
Well, yeah.
You have the audacity to stand there at the bar and ask her, are you and Tom, are you still attracted to him? Are you guys still sleeping together? Disgusting questions. In hindsight, right? Now we realize it's disgusting. At the time of filming, but also at the time of airing, we already knew what was going on, but, like, whatever.
Neither here nor there. Anyways.
But, like, wow.
Anyways.
Wow. I'm going to need to sit on this information for a minute.
So now that we're back at Sir, Lala immediately tells Ariana about how she went to the house yesterday to go hang out with Sandoval. They have this conversation. Ariana's like, yeah, that's great. Thank you. Next, whatever.
She makes the same facial expressions that I was making.
I know.
Me and Ariana were twinning.
But then this is where we get the real story from Ariana about Maya, about how he let Maya into the room when he went into her room, and then locked Maya in Ariana's room, and Ariana had takeout from the Hotel Ziggy's the night before, and she got a hold of some skewers, ate them, which can literally puncture an organ and kill her. So she had to rush her to the vet as soon as she saw that she had gotten into it. Which again, just Tom is garbage.
And
so careless.
Lest us not forget that when that happened, it was right timeline-wise of the episode. It was right before he went to lunch. So he saw her eat that stuff and then went to have lunch and told Lala about it.
Yeah.
So he went in there.
So Lala literally got both sides of the story.
Mm-hmm. But let's just think about that, right? So poor Ed is like 12 hours. That's like 12 hours that dog you knew she ate something and you just locked her in that room. Mm-hmm. We then at that lunch talking about how you know that she gets into things.
I mean, he's lived with that dog for years.
And you want me to
should know that Maya gets into shit.
That's what I'm saying. You know, you said at that lunch that she gets into shit.
Like,
you want me to think that you're not doing things maliciously? Is that not malicious?
That's evil. If you're gonna make the dog suffer, that's fucking evil. So evil. Like, I could not imagine ever. Like, if I knew that my dog was getting into shit, I would make sure that I doggy-proof the whole fucking area and make sure that the dog does not get into the shit. Now, listen. Same can be said for Ariana if you're leaving food out there in a surface where Maya can get it, but you locked it in your room, not assuming that Tom would go in. So
she was in an area that she knew Maya would not get into because her door was probably closed. Maya's in the main floor of the house. She goes, okay, my door is closed. Maya can't open a door. It's fine, right? I do that with Bub. There's things in my room that he can get into, but he doesn't get into it because my door is closed when I leave, and he doesn't have thumbs, okay? He can't open a door. Maya can't open a door.
Well, yeah. So the main point is that Tom is just really fucking irresponsible. He does not give a shit.
He doesn't.
He just assumes that the dog that he lived with for all these years is just not at all, like, not
They've
my responsibility.
They've had her for years, too. They got it, like season 8 they got her.
I don't think they ever went into when they got her.
It was between seasons, but they've had Maya for almost 5 years now.
Probably for as long as they've been in the house.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know that she always had Charlotte since, like, the apartment days. Mm-hmm. And then they bought the house, and then somewhere along the way, Maya came.
They rescued Maya, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a shelter dog, and she didn't like men, and they slowly got her to like Tom. Only for Tom to turn around and be this disgusting.
It's okay. We still have enough Maya's stank face to go around.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So, my heart is with Maya. Team Maya.
Team Maya.
This is why Maya was always given, like, weird faces, too, because she's like, I know you're going to do some fucking weird shit.
Dogs know.
Yeah. Katie then told Lisa and Ken about Schwartz and Sheena.
Schwartz.
I can't believe you made out with
Sheena. Schwartz.
Schwartz.
We need more Ken. Less Sandoval, more Ken.
Less Sandoval, less Schwartz even. More Ken.
More Ken.
I will sacrifice so many cast members, even Lala, if it means that we can get more Ken.
I want a scene of like Ken with Katie and Ariana drinking tea and just gossiping the fuck out about people.
Well, like the sandwich tasting.
I want more of that.
I can't believe.
You know what's funny when they said that? I looked at you and I was like, immediately I go, I can't believe. Can you believe Tom Sandoval had Kel over in the hot tub last night?
I will say, I mean, it's because they're British, but like the way that they said, I can't believe, they sound exactly the same, but just different voice sound.
Yeah, it was so, there was like the same person.
I can't believe
it.
Sheena.
You made out with Sheena. And then he fucking coward runs.
Oh yeah, he got mad. He
Can't
got
take
salty.
the heat. Can't take the heat.
He got so salty.
Can't take the time. Don't do the crime.
Oh, and then Brock starts acting all weird.
That was fucking stupid.
Basically saying like Katie can't get mad because
she can.
She fucked your best friend yesterday or whatever the fuck.
Yes, she can.
Was, which also leads me to wonder, why does Sheena have everybody's location still? Even the guys that she like stopped dating. Are they friends?
Why are you looking at Max Bone's location?
Right. It's very weird.
It's because she likes to say that I'm everybody's best friend. It goes along with her narrative of like she's the number one best friend to everybody and she cares so much.
The whole reason you wrote the song Boy Crazy and you're still like, I don't get it, but whatever. And then, so then I wrote Ariana and T talk because they meet, and then now we finally get the scene behind why T was talking about meeting Ariana on Billy Lee's podcast. Mm-hmm. Basically, exactly what she said happened, we watched happen. Mm-hmm. Doesn't really sound, and even T didn't really, I'll give it to T, she didn't really make it sound as though like Ariana did some crazy shit.
It didn't sound malicious. It was just like,
it's just like, yeah.
Your standard warning another girly.
Yeah, she said, hey, how you doing? Hello? Introduced herself. And then she said, He ain't shit. And that's
'Cause he
basically
ain't
what
shit.
happened.
Because he ain't.
And listen, it must have worked because I don't think they were seen together again since then.
Mm-mm.
Like, I don't think she ever ended up going back out with him.
Mm-mm.
So, sorry. Maybe, like, they went on 1 or 2 more dates. I don't even remember. But either way, that was it. And then Sheena and Brock are fighting again. I don't even know why they're fighting again.
They're
at this
fighting
point.
because she is trying to be a girl's girl now.
Oh.
And she was mad that he told Schwartz about Katie and Max.
Right. The selective girl's girl.
Selective girl's girl. And she was pissy and she was sitting there like a fucking toddler throwing a temper tantrum. Can't believe you said that. Why would you say that?
Like, why are you selling me out?
Why are you selling me out?
Meanwhile, everybody's tipsy. Brock even got a little spicy, too. I think that was the most mad that we have seen Brock.
Because someone came after his boy. She can fuck whoever the fuck she wants. They're not married.
And also, Tom cheated on her like a million times, so it's like...
Well, them trying to say that, like, she can't get mad about him kissing Sheena because she went and had sex with his... Context is key. The context of the kiss, they were together. The context of her hooking up with Max, they're fucking divorced, bro.
Right.
She can screw whoever she wants.
And also, if you're going to feel a type of way about it, get mad at Max. Don't get mad at Katie.
Also, where was that energy last year when she asked him not to hook up with someone 3 months after their separation, and then he was kissing Rachel?
Raquel.
Where was the heat? Where was the fire then? It's not. It's selective. It's selective mad. It's like they pick and choose when certain boundaries and rules fit them, and then get mad when people are like when Lala left the party. You're all liars. You're all this. No one tells me anything.
Oh, yeah. Lala threw a little hissy fit and then walked away and just went home all mad. I almost forgot that happened.
Oh, I didn't. It was really funny.
I did like the way that part was put together because she did have something for everybody, except for the part with Ariana saying that she was lying about her finances. That
She's
was a little
not.
fucked
Do you
up.
want her to whip out her fucking bank statement?
Like, that's what I feel like she wants to happen. Meanwhile, Lala and I don't remember who was posting this, but there was somebody on Instagram posting what everybody spends on their wardrobe on VPR. And no surprise, Lala wears the most expensive clothing. She has the most expensive house out of everybody else on the cast. You know, it's very clear that Lala comes from money. Where the fuck else is she getting all this cash from? Because it's not from Randall.
No, her mom was paying for a lot of shit when she first came on the show. She's used to being taken care of, and I guarantee her mom is still doing it now.
It's the privilege. It's the privilege of
so
her,
much privilege.
like blind privilege. The fact that she can just easily look at Ariana and be like, "Oh yeah, you can just move," and Ariana's like, "I have no money." Like,
Why don't we
I
say
have no
Tom
money.
can just move? Where's the same energy? Well, Tom can just leave.
Tom has no money either, but somehow it's acceptable for Tom to not have money and Ariana to not have money. But Ariana's getting all these brand deals. Yeah, which means I'm just trying to get my money together.
I don't understand what it's like they really think she's getting like $1 million per brand deal. It's so like out of touch.
Very out of touch. It's really gross to assume too that this lady is just going to spend a paycheck the second it hits her bank account. It's kind of crazy.
It shows her lack of maturity.
Lala, some of us who work paycheck to paycheck can't just go spending it the second
Also,
that it hits.
Yeah, exactly. But I said this to you in the kitchen. She didn't want to go from a house to an apartment. She probably wanted to go to a house. So I'm going to save up so I can get from this house to another house.
Well, yeah, she's got a dog.
That's what I'm, like,
The dog needs a backyard.
why is she going to move to an apartment? And it goes back to the same thing we said earlier of you had to leave Randall. You had to get in a quick emergency apartment. You didn't have time to look for a house. You had no legal standing to your house with Randall, right? Ariana has legal standing to this house, so it is not the same. But she can't see past. She's blind, and it just very clearly shows.
Yeah, she doesn't really understand the concept of people other than her.
No,
like not having money.
No, it was like that. Remember in the beginning of the season when they first had that girls' dinner, and Katie was trying to tell her it's not the same. Like, you can draw similarities, but it is not the same. And she was getting mad at Katie for daring to say that, like, you don't talk about your situation because it's not, you remember that?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing now. It is not the same. Like, I want to, like, bash her head against a wall, like, knock some sense into her. Like, it is not the same. They're similar, yes. But, like, how hard is it to see the differences and have empathy?
Yep. Well, she's got it. She's just not showing it for Ariana. She somehow has it for Tom because her and Tom are, like, one and the same. Crazy.
Stupid.
Crazy.
It made me so mad.
But that's the episode. We're not going to do a recap of the Valley this week.
We turned it right off.
Yeah, I turned it right off. Listen, it's late. I have work in the morning. She's got work in the morning. We're going to be doing a whole marathon of things. I have an editor now. Thank you, Alex. You're the best.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Lady.
So, we'll see how that goes. And tomorrow, actually, today is Tuesday, right after VPR as we're recording this. But tomorrow, we will also be making an appearance on the Bravo Tea with a stay-at-home mom, Erica. Will be on her podcast as well. So I'm not sure when that will be posted, but it will be recorded tomorrow. So as soon as we know, we will tell you. Maybe there's a possibility that episode will probably be up maybe around the same time as this episode airs, maybe before or after. I'm not sure, depending on what goes on with the editing here and the posting. I'm going to try and get it out, though, before the weekend. And that's, I think, it. Really, this was a lot episode. We are now at this was episode 8, so we probably have like 6 left.
If there's 14 episodes, yeah,
6 left, and then we have probably most likely going to be a 3-part reunion. It's becoming very clear. Lines are being drawn in the sand. People are getting really tired of people's bullshit. The friend group is for sure starting to drift apart.
Yes.
These guys are just simply outgrowing each other.
And that's fine. Friendships come and go, but they're not handling it very well. Their lack of maturity is showing.
It's not even, well, yes, it is partly lack of maturity.
Don't say that it's not.
It is partly lack of maturity, but it's also just greed. It's greed because they want to keep the show going so they can keep that income coming.
Which is 100% fine. And I understand that.
They're going to need to get a job.
I understand that 100%. Absolutely, you need to keep your job. But there was a way to do that and not turn your back on your friend.
I'm going to pull a Lala real quick. Just get brand deals.
Just get brand deals.
Just go get some brand deals. It'll be fine.
Let's get your sponsors.
Go get your sponsors,
I haven't seen them once thank Ariana for their Uber Eats commercial. And that shit was on all the fucking time. They got a lot of bank for that commercial. Where's your thank you?
Yeah.
Where's your thank you?
I know. I guess it's Ariana's fault.
Send it to Daryl. Where's your thank you?
Send it to Daryl.
You wouldn't have that without Ariana either.
Music career.
Good Goals wouldn't have gotten a revamp if not for Ariana. Where's her thank you?
But it's fine. We come off so salty every week on these podcasts, but honestly, I feel like if we came from a much earlier time, we probably would have been much more happy-go-lucky about this show. This show is aging me.
Yes. And yes. It also probably doesn't help our case that we are recording mere minutes after the show ends. And so, like, all of our, like, feelings are still so raw. Because, like, if you noticed last week's episode, like, we were still angry. But, like, we had been sitting on it for, like, 24 hours. So by the time we got to film, we were kind of like, oh, that was bullshit. But, like,
kind of
whatever.
forgot a lot happened.
We forgot some things happened. Like, we were much more chill than we are, like, immediately post episode. But yeah, imagine if we had this since, like, season, like, whatever the fuck you want to say. Like, it probably we wouldn't have been so angry all the time.
Like even if it were like Katie and Tom's wedding,
yeah,
that would have been a more happy-go-lucky season.
Because there was so much fun things to like. There was this whole season is just bullshit.
Ah! Drama.
Oh my god.
We just watched that episode the other night.
No, I was going to say, I thank you for just glossing right over that very traumatizing breathing. You screamed, and that's what made me think about the fact. I said, oh, we didn't once mention that, and I appreciate it because that needed, like, a mature rating. was so gross.
That was really weird.
It was weird. Anyway, that's it for us, guys.
Tom screams, I scream.
We all scream.
We all scream because what the fuck is going on here?
That was so fucking weird. That was so weird. I'm really glad you glossed over that because now I'm thinking about it again. I'm skeeved out again.
I won't be rewatching this episode anytime soon.
It was like he was trying to make himself hyperventilate.
Yeah, if anybody has actually done a breathing exercise of that nature, let me know if it actually goes down like that, because that just didn't seem normal.
As someone who frequent breathing exercises to combat her anxiety, I'm gonna say no. It's a lot of deep breath, hold for 5, let go for, sometimes you do a quick like intake, but it doesn't sound like a fucking porno.
I don't fucking know, dude.
It was so weird. That was very performative, and it grossed me out, and I never want to look at it ever again.
Yeah. All right, well, that's the episode. Like I said, no Valley recap. Maybe I'll do one live on Instagram or something later. We'll see. But yeah, I guess we'll see you next week.
Yay!
Yay! Bye!
Bye!